To Blessie, the love of my life, the mother of my 4 beautiful children, and my God-given partner here on earth. Today marks 10 wonderful years together as husband and wife, in which I never knew would encompass so many emotions and experiences in a decade. Who would have thought we would be on this unique adventure of excitement, happiness, struggle, triumph, desperation, anguish, sorrow, optimism, and joy. I don't know what I wanted to say to you today, but I did know I wanted to mark this day as something special that we could both look back and remember how far we have come and what God has done in our lives. God gave me this idea to put together this video montage of past memories we can watch together and smile. I probably won't have the guts to watch this together with you because I really don't want to hear myself talk, even though I'm just reading what I previously wrote today. I remember being so afraid to ask your parents if I could marry their only daughter. But with your little brother's help and his comedic way of encouraging me, I finally mustered up the guts to ask them. They were sitting in the kitchen unwinding from the day, dozing in and out of sleep as I usually do together. I sat down across from them and I pushed that little ring box across the table and said, "I want to marry your daughter." Not even asking, just stating like it was a fact. They looked at the box, then at me, then back at the box, and they didn't say a word for what almost felt like an eternity. And when they finally spoke, I was presented with a parental condition, and that was to wait for you to finish school and to get a job. And that's what we did. You graduated from nursing school and got a job, and just like that became the breadwinner of our future family. I had the daunting task of proposing to you, and if you knew you better than I know you, then we both know how scary that was. And after all these years, I can finally ask you to forgive me for not actually going down on one knee in front of everyone and asking you to marry me. Instead, we went to our local Thai restaurant and sat down at a table for 2, and I presented you with the ring, sliding it over like it was some sort of business proposition. I think that's why I love you so much. You put up with how low-key I want to be, with me always afraid of what other people might think about me, think about us, or think about our family. While planning our wedding together and putting together the wedding list, I was terrified because I never liked being the center of attention. But family is so very important to you, and I knew I had to make an effort to make our wedding day a day we can celebrate together with loved ones. I remember crying with Jeff as he encouraged me that everything was going to be okay because I was letting the financial stress of the wedding get to me. I got upset because I felt like you were not sparing any expense when it came to hosting family and friends. I was convicted by selfishness and I cried while I confessed it in our vows at the altar. I wonder if you still remember that. You always remind me to be generous, that there shouldn't be a price on loving others. We bought our home together not too far from your parents' home because I knew that that was important to you. And God blessed us with 4 beautiful children, with our youngest in heaven. We both went into parenthood not knowing what to expect. It's funny because we got 2 copies of What to Expect When You're Expecting. I don't think you or I finished reading that book, or barely even picked it up. We were the type of parents to just figure it out ourselves. Unfortunately, Quentin was such a handful, completely controlling our schedule with his nap times because we couldn't go anywhere once he wakes up. He was so uncontrollable. I don't think we learned our lesson until Quentin spat in your face and threw his food at a fancy Thai restaurant in San Francisco. We didn't know how to react because everyone was staring, including the waitress. She was like, "Okay." It wasn't until Mabel was born when you decided to be a stay-at-home mom. Just another example of your character and willingness to love and build our home the best way you knew how. We both know this, but I tried my best to convince you to not give up your career because we were living a comfortable life financially. I think we both see the common thread here. My mind was always revolved around money. It was just how I was brought up since I grew up with a single mom. But I can say this now, that your decision to stay home and be a full-time mother was the best decision of our family's life. Well, next to your decision of saying yes to me after I proposed. I really didn't know how we were going to survive off a single income, but somehow you knew everything would work out. You really wanted to take our family to the Philippines, and year after year I brushed the suggestion off, always concerned about money. But I eventually relented with the condition that we would go with at least one of your parents, because I couldn't imagine myself controlling our kids without any help. I got to experience where all the kindness and generosity came from after meeting your extended family, and was blown away at their hospitality, literally giving up their master bedroom to our family at every house we stayed at. I can't imagine that being the case here in America. Your family embraced us and took care of our children as if they were their own. Our kids were literally spoon-fed by your aunties on both sides of your family. Why did God bless such a selfish and prideful man with a beautiful and selfless wife and in-laws? One of my life's mysterious questions that I continue to thank God for. It has been such a far cry witnessing your growth as a mother, from being spit in the face by Quentin all the way to your commitment to be by Penelope's side every night and day in the children's hospital while she fought for her life. The medical providers who said that Penelope would be a burden on our family couldn't be farther from the truth. She has been one of the biggest blessings of our family's life, and gave me the ability to feel more with my heart and less with my selfish mind. Jay said it best during Penelope's celebration of life, that Penelope took after her mother, who selflessly did more for our family than I could have ever done, and gave me the opportunity to confess my pride and arrogance in front of everyone during her celebration of life. Just like her mother's life, Penelope continues to refine me into a better father and a better husband. Because of our little baby, we have gained numerous friends who continue to love and support us. A marriage and family just don't happen. It happens through God's providence and the relationships He allows us to have. Who would have thought that we would be celebrating 10 years of marriage, and in the same year lose our precious daughter, Penelope, to a rare genetic condition? This year continues to be a tough year for our family, but it makes it all worth it if I get to glorify our Heavenly Father with you and through our family. I love experiencing life together with you, the ups, the downs, watching our children grow up, capturing each other's stare when one of them does something silly or extremely cute. They all take after you. But when they get upset and throw a fit, we can both say they take after me. God remains faithful and good to our family, and I'm looking forward to several years of joy and happiness together as your husband. Yours truly, Mark.